A few do, so that's like a couple, isn't it? Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to carry on using them because this is our 40th anniversary and I quite like the British expressions actually. Fucking shitty. What the hell is that? Anyway, right, so we're going to play a couple of tracks from Flaunt the Imperfection. The album produced by Walter Becker from Steely Dan. Right, a little illustration for you of just how great it was working with Walter. The whole thing came about because when we were asked by Warner Brothers in 1984, when we were in LA supporting Simple Minds, who's gonna produce your third album, Eddie said Gary Katz, who produced all the Steely Dan albums. Warner Brothers said, well actually, we've got Walter Becker on the books and he's doing diddly squat at the moment. So they got in touch with Walter in Maui, and Walter already had our second album, Working with Fire and Steel, and absolutely loved it. So then Walter come to London and he met Gary and Eddie and Kevin and Gaz, and he listened to our demos for Flaunt and he absolutely loved them. But let me just illustrate a little thing with them in the studio of just how great he was. So when we're in the studio and we're starting Flaunt the Imperfection, we would have been working on Black Man Ray. Walter would have said to me, Gary, come into the studio with the big piano. Just come with me a minute. So I would have went in there with him, would have stood at the piano, and he would have said to me, Gary, show me the chords to Black Man Ray. And I would have gone, and then I would have gone, and he would have just looked me square in the eye and he would have gone, fucking genius. Well, it's 1984, Walter's got short hair, he's quite smartly dressed, he's in England with Gary and Eddie, who are only 23 years of age, 24, we're on to our fourth album. I should imagine Walter, after working and being in one of the best bands, most revered bands of the 70s, and he'd worked with the greatest musicians, you know, Larry Carlton and Skunk Baxter, and then all of a sudden he's in England, the heart of England, with Gary and Eddie, and he's fucking working with guys that are basically using a couple of fingers to write songs. And do you know what? He didn't walk out and go, what the hell is going on? He thought it was fantastic, because that's the genius of people like Walter, is that they understand that it doesn't matter where the magic of songwriting comes from, that's where the magic is. And he was one of the very best people we ever worked with, and we did 2 albums with him, and a little bit more of that later on, really. So we'll play these next 2 songs and we'll dedicate them to the memory of Walter. The first one is our reggae song from Flaunt, and it's Strength of Character.